Alaikum, brother Khalil.
Walaikum salam.
Let me change my name real quick.
What's your name, sis? P.
Hi, I'm Fiona, Fee for short. Salam. I'm not Muslima, but greetings to you guys.
Yeah, I'm not a Muslim either, so you know.
Annoying. Okay. That's a whole nother topic right there.
What?
I was on Muzmatch and they had a transgender Muslima on there on my timeline.
I want to talk about that. They had a transgender Muslima.
Yes.
Yes. You had the same one, right? Looking like Donatello from Ninja Turtles. I was so mad, girl.
I sent you the picture.
Yeah,
right?
we sent each other. I was sick to
We
my
sent
stomach.
the picture, and like it's legit a man, a brother wearing like a kimono. And I'm like, why? I'm like, how does Muzmatch not catch? Like, we gonna talk about, I don't know, maybe
algorithm is trash.
flaws of Muzmatch, because it's a lot of flaws. Like, I don't know how some of them people got through Muzmatch.
What's it called? Muzmatch.
Muzmatch
Yeah,
is
it's a Muslim matrimonial app.
yeah.
Muslim matrimony.
Must match.
Never heard
It's
of
trash.
it.
It's not worth even speaking on.
It's trash. I found my husband.
Yeah, inshallah, she'll be getting married in 2 weeks. She got the diamond in the roughs. I mean, it works for some people. At the end of the day, it's a Muslim matrimonial site.
Yeah.
But
What does that mean?
But hold on. So
what do you mean?
No, hold on. Before we talk about Muslim match, I definitely want to talk about it, right?
Yeah.
I want to know, can you I'm gonna bleep it out, right? But could you possibly tell me what the transgender Muslima's name was?
I don't remember. I don't recall.
Throughout messages, but like it was no hiding it. Like he had a rap, like full hijab, full press-ons, a little lipstick. Like it was no hiding the fact that was like you knew he was a man.
Oh, look, right? Is there any chance that the transgender person just might be a manly looking woman?
No.
Weird. No, because she saw it too. Fee saw the picture too. And he had a strong back, ma'am. All right. He had a strong back. Looked like he could throw a hockey puck across the field. Like there's no way. And G-Bob was looking flyer than mine.
Might have been like one of those.
No, I feel like it's a glitch. You know, it could have been a glitch with an algorithm. Same way, there was like just a regular woman. She ended up on the timeline, and what I did was report it, and it was like, oh, that was a mistake on our part. You know, thanks for reporting it, so they could switch it back to the right, timeline, so they would end up only on the brother's timeline and not a sister's timeline.
Is it like Muslim mingle?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the difference?
I mean,
the name is a different. It's just a different resource. That's the name of it.
Ain't no brothers available in that area.
There are but again, it's honestly for me, whether it's over the internet, in person, your family knew the brother and they've been having y'all matched up since y'all was 15. It's all a gamble. Like you don't really know somebody until you're with them, until you're in the house with them at 5:00 in the morning, or until y'all get into an argument. So whether it's on the internet or in person, it doesn't matter. Like some of the brothers in my neighborhood, or I should say in my area or the masjid that I go to, some of them are garbage. Like some of them are only after one thing. They want to marry you just so they can get some halal. I'm using some Philly slang, so they can get some halal yams, and then afterwards they're gonna find a reason to divorce you, and vice versa with the sisters too. And I'm not discrediting the brothers who are good, because I've come across some good brothers. It's just that sometimes they're not for you. I will admit, I was one of them sisters who I was like, oh, I want a roughneck. Like I want somebody who been in jail before, all tatted up, got the beard, like.
Sorry, I have to clutch my pearls because I was one.
Like that's how I used to be. But I have 2 kids now.
But why? But why were you like that?
Yeah.
I think it was. I don't know. I think it was just cute to me. Like I like roughnecks. Like
So
she know.
what? No, but what about a jailbird that's attracted?
Like I mean, I don't know. Like like I said, I just when I was younger, it was just I think it was that whole I was a good girl and I wanted a bad guy, kind of a bad boy kind of thing. And even now, as I get older, I'm like, you know what? That was childish. And I do still want somebody who's kind of experienced life because I've experienced life. And so I want to be able to connect on that level and have conversations. And I want to be able to I want them to, like, I've had brothers who are slate clean. And they like, oh, you been through that? You got two.
That's true.
You got 2 kids and you ain't never been married. I can't deal with you, or you not worthy of a dowry. You better just take this $5 and keep it moving. Like I've had brothers who
married before.
Huh?
Never been married.
Never been married.
How long you been Muslim?
I've been Muslim all my life. Born and
So the brother you about to marry in 2 weeks. On Muslim, that name is funny. But you met there, right? How long you kicking it with the brother there?
You said how long has he been Muslim?
Yeah, how long you been kicking it with him?
We've been talking for like, I'll say seriously for like, what, like a month, maybe 2? Because before I was, like I said, I wasn't serious. I was just like, okay, you're a good brother, you know. But then when he started applying the pressure, I'm like, okay. And of course you still have your guard up, but he like is showing me signs and like living up to what he says he's going to do or what he's going to be. So, you know, and he's been through some things, and what I've been through, he's like, okay, I've been through some stuff too. What we gonna do? We gonna work through it and move past it, or we just gonna look at each other and judge each other? Like that's what I mean when now as me being older, I want somebody who has been through life, because I feel like the ones who haven't are more judgmental, and the ones that have been through life, they get it, so they're like, I'm past that, I'm trying to do better, you know.
How old are you, if you don't mind me asking? How old?
24.
Oh, you a baby. Yeah.
I'm a baby, but
You ain't do nothing yet.
Yeah, you ain't been.
I'm a baby. Hold up.
You ain't even do nothing yet.
What you mean?
Thought you talking like you in your late 30s.
Yeah.
But that's life, and I have 2 kids. Children mature you. But I've always spoken like this. Honestly, I've hey. Come, give me that. Come here. No. 1. Cut that part out.
So, so the thing is, like you said, that you guys connect because you've been through some things. There's a thing called trauma bond, right?
Right.
In which you guys are together because of trauma, which essentially
go in your room.
You may think it's a good thing, but long term it may not work because you guys are bonding on that pain and not something of like real.
I'm not saying that's primarily why we're together. I'm just saying there's other reasons why I'm attracted to him and, you know, about him. And like, I'm like, okay, I can see myself with you. It's just that, like I said before, somebody who I feel like we don't judge each other, because it's like, okay, we've been there, done that. It is what it is. I'm on my path of healing. he's on his path of healing, and it's not even collaboratively that I'm healing separately. Like, before him, I had started my healing journey.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna continue. Listen, go in your room.
Do he have children?
Huh?
Do he have children?
He has 2 children.
You're gonna do
Oh, okay.
Huh?
You guys gonna do the blended family?
Yeah. Yeah.
I did it. I tried it before. Mm-hmm. It's gonna be hard.
Yeah. I mean, inshallah, Allahu Alam, if it works, I'm praying for the best. This is, like I said, this is his first marriage too. So, Allahu Alam, but like I said, we both see it's not I get what you're saying with the trauma bonding, but that's not the sole reason why I'm attracted to him. That's not even, I don't even want to say that's the top reason I'm attracted to him, if that makes sense.
He's trying to wet me again.
I feel like there's a thin line between trauma bonding and having things that you guys can relate to, or things that you have in common that you dealt with in the past, but that should not be a reason that you guys are fused together or decide to pursue each other. Like, oh, she done been through some stuff, and oh, we've been through the same exact thing, so I know that, when I wake up with night terrors, she gonna have my back. Like, it could get toxic, and that's not a sole reason for somebody to relate. At least you can have empathy, because there's a difference between sympathy and empathy. You could be like, okay, I actually been through that same thing, so I can actually empathize with you rather than sympathize because I've been through it. But that's not a reason why I would pursue you. It's because I actually feel like you would be beneficial to me in my future and my walk in this deen, point blank in the period.
And I think it's different when children are involved, right? Because when children are involved, you can't really think of yourself first, right?
Right.
You are bringing someone from the outside who is going to influence your children, whether good or whether bad. So overall, when looking at the characteristics of the individual, you have to assess, can some of these qualities rub on or off on my children? Because now you're bringing someone into the home who's going to set an example for what the children are going to look for when they're looking for a partner, or for how children are going to treat others based on this individual. So I think I don't have any children, so it's different, but I would imagine for someone who has a children evaluating a partner, especially one as serious as marriage, you have to look at the whole umbrella. You have to look at, are the children comfortable around him? Will the children be comfortable around him? Are these qualities that I can sit comfortable with my children being here? Because I grew up in a blended family, which was, again, it was not, if I was an adult, I would have opted out of that situation, right? Because now looking as a child, growing up in a blended family, sometimes parents don't really think about how it's going to affect the children.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And children tend to go for partners where they're missing something from their parents. For example, if a daughter does not have a close relationship with her father, or she yearns for physical touch, she may look for a man who's handsy, right? Mm-hmm. Searching for something.
Or end up on a Polish strip club. You already know how that goes. But
she's searching for something that was not present growing up, and many times, even for male children as well, they look for something that's not present. So now, like, when you're looking for a partner, is this person nurturing? Can they not only nurture you but your children?
Right.
Can they have he been around the children, how the children interact with him? Like, those are a lot of little things that, yeah, we want to be happy too, but you want your children to be happy too. And we are, as women, are raising children to be the next generation. So we always have to think of, in hindsight, okay, how is this not only going to make me happy, but how is it going to affect my children? That's why I asked about the trauma, because someone who's very traumatic and your children haven't been through that, is that something that, if he's having a bad day, your children are going to be around that, right? You can't separate, be like, okay, when things are good, because they're going to see the good and the bad side. Sometimes parents think that they're shielding the children when children are, very curious. You're seeing everything. So that was the reason why I brought up that question, because
I definitely get that part. That's why I was like, it's not, that's why I said, let me be clear. It's not the trauma or the things that he and I have been through. It's the fact that, okay, we're both in a state of mind that we're like, okay, we got kids. I'm on my ding, you're on your ding. What are we doing? Like, it's that. And like I said, I like that he's a hard worker. He doesn't really go out. Like, if he's out and he goes back in, he goes to get food, he goes back in the house. So it's like he's not in the streets, and the conversation is not just what you doing, even how you doing. It's the whole, as they say, like on the Facebook post, when they're like, if he don't ask you if you didn't eat today, he don't care. Like, I mean, he does that, but it's like that type of stuff, it doesn't phase me.
Let me ask you something.
Like, why are you asking me every 5 minutes if I ate? I ate. Thank you for asking, but
Let me ask you something, right? So, just for the sake of the conversation. Hold on, Khalil. You've been talking to the brother for how long now?
for like, well,
Okay.
I said, seriously, it's like
You said about 2
okay,
months.
for like 3 months, but seriously, it's been like 2 months.
Okay.
And when
So
I
1 month wasn't
like took him, like when I was like, okay, let's, my wali got involved.
all right. So we I'm only bringing this conversation up because
Mm-hmm.
it is different for non-Muslims, right? And so now me, I wasn't raised Muslim, so
Okay.
I come from boyfriend girlfriend,
Mm-hmm.
like most people, right? So when you first get in, when you part of Islam, you in a community, and then now you meet a person, you like them, they like you, you meet their parents or whatever the case is, and then we're talking about marriage after 2 months, a month. Some people I know get married after a couple weeks or something. That's foreign for a lot of us that don't come from that background.
Mm-hmm.
I think the question I got really is like, what exactly is it, what do you expect to come from a situation like that? For me, I have my own answer because I know how I look at marriage, but I'm just interested to learn like what sisters think or how you look at that. And I want the opinion of the sister Fiona too, because she's not Muslim. Like, what does she think about that? Like, because it's a conversation that comes up in a barbershop a lot. A lot of people ask me this all the time. Like, yo, how y'all get married after a month? To me, it's the equivalent of dating. To me, personally,
Right.
What are your expectations? Being as though you're about to go through that, and I want to know what the sister Fiona think about all that.
So I mean, as far as my expectations, I feel like in Islam, I don't want to say it's a different set of expectations for the husband, but it essentially it is, because once you marry that man, you become his responsibility. If that doesn't sound like I'm itemizing women.
No. But what? I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. But now that you said that, right?
Mm-hmm.
What kind of what is the expectation for this brother? You known him 3 months.
Right.
What are you expecting him to do? What obligation do you expect him to fulfill for you after 2 months of y'all seriously talking? And now you guys are gonna get married. Are you gonna move in together? Are you gonna blend your family immediately? Do you expect him to pay bills? Do you expect him what do you expect?
So because it was rather quick, like, I'm an understanding person. So my expectations of it, like I said, communication number one. Communicate with me. I feel like in any marriage, whether you're Christian, Muslim, Buddhist, atheist, agnostic, communication is always the first thing that is an expectation. I don't know how. Let me not say I don't know. I'm one who gets to know somebody's love language or how you communicate, so that I know how to effectively communicate with you, because communication isn't just me listening to be able to it's listening to understand you and then give you feedback or whatever the case may be, a discussion. So number one, communication. Number two, I do expect him to be the protector, maintainer, and provider for the household. But in the same token, we did have an agreement that while we're in the beginning stages, that he would handle certain things, like he would handle the rent, I would handle the utilities, and whatever we came in separately with, then we continue to pay on that. So like my car, I don't expect him to pay anything on my car, but for him, he's like, well, you're my responsibility now, so I'm going to help you pay it, or I'll pay it for you. My expectation is that you would treat my children the way that you would want me or anybody else to treat your children. I'm not one to, just because you're my stepchild, I'm going to treat you differently. I'm going to treat you like my stepchild. No, I'm going to treat you like you're my child, but again, within within boundaries.
How soon? So you guys are going to get married, and you're going to move in together?
So we're in 2 different states. So that requires putting his 2 weeks, all that other stuff. So we agreed that 2 weeks, a month, then we'll move in together. He's currently looking for something out here. There's a brother out here that, alhamdulillah, is connecting him with a job. So if that job comes through, then he's gonna be here sooner. But we gave it a timeline because you don't want to just up and leave and then you can't take care of your family, you can't help out. You want to make sure that like I said to him, you need to make sure that before you come out here, you're straight, that your bills are straight, that everything you have to take care of is straight, and then you can come out here. Because then you're going to be out here sitting up in the house looking for a job, and we in a pandemic and not a lot of people are hiring, or they're hiring a limited amount of people, and you don't know. You never know. So you have something secure right now. So stick with that security right now, and then we will make that process. And that's not just for him. That was for any man that I was going to marry, whether they was in Maryland, DC, whatever. That was and to slowly move you in, because my kids are not used to a man being here every day, all day. So you don't want to just.
So what's your time frame? So that's what I mean about the expectation. What time frame? You talking? You guys gonna slowly move in together over the next couple months, or?
Like within the next, I'll say low end 2 weeks, higher end a month.
That's still fast.
It's fast, but I feel like it's slower than, okay, we get married this day and now you're right in the house.
Okay. So all right.
That's why he's saying that, because if it's too fast, then how he going to be able to just he's not going to be able to just go back. He already stuck with you.
Oh, he stuck with me regardless.
Hold on. That's great.
What?
That was funny. He stuck with you, but look,
He
right?
stuck regardless.
So I'm asking,
Right?
Muslims here, because I'm telling you, after we done this, I really want to hear what Sister Fiona's opinion is of that. I can't wait to hear it, right? But so when you get married, I know the rules of fiqh. I know, I'm sure you guys know, when it comes to the fiqh of marriage, Muhammad Khalil, he's the imam here. He knows all the rules. Sister
No, I don't.
Yes, you do. Nigga, you know.
No, I don't.
No, we know we don't got to go through what the rules of fiqh are. We know them, right? I want to know, in the real world, in the world we live in 2020, what are you expecting men to pay when y'all just got married? I really want to know what's the dowry and what you expecting him to pay.
So my dowry wasn't, usually my dowry is a money amount. Well, when I say usually my dowry, when I'm
usually you never been married.
When I'm discussing marriage with a brother.
Okay.
I usually have money set as my dowry, and I go based on what he can pay.
How much?
I think I've said like 2,000. I've said like when I was younger, it was I saw that fee. She went.
Girl, you gotta have to up your price. 2,000 can't do diddly squat. That's no.
But
That's a whole nother conversation. Wait, we'll get to that.
a dowry,
2,000.
and that's another thing. We as Muslim women and men have to know what the meaning of a dowry is.
Hold on, stick to the point. I want you to answer.
I'm sorry. See, I told Najima I can definitely like veer off. She know I'm loving to talk about everything, but
we're gonna get the dowries. I want to know what you're expecting this man to pay for. What's your expectations? What is he gonna do? You guys gonna move in within a month, and then he's gonna pay. You said
he's paying the rent. I'm paying the utility. Go back in your room. And that's not just me saying, oh, you're paying the rent. We had that discussion. I was like, okay, are we splitting the bills 50-50? What are we doing? And he was like, well, I said, or are you paying everything? Like, what's going on? He was like, well, are you comfortable if I pay the rent and you pay utilities? Are you comfortable with this and that? Like, we threw out options to each other. And it was like, okay, well, you pay the rent. I'll pay the utilities. And again, like I said, the bills that we had separately, like phone bill, car note, car insurance, or whatever type you got with your car, it's going to stay separate. We decided, okay, we're going to get a joint account specifically for bills. And when it's time for him to be paid, he puts it in the account and I pay it. I give it to the rental company. When it's time for the utilities to be paid, of course, it's going to be in that account, but I'm going to, all right, cool. That is going to be out of what I get paid from my job.
Okay, now, so Sister Najima, what are your expectations? I don't know what you got going on, but you want to say?
I have nothing going on but school and the rent.
No, well, all right, that's hypothetical. You meet a brother, you feeling him. What's your timeline?
I would like to court for 6 months. And inshallah, if I was in that situation where he's in another state and I would have to relocate, I wouldn't mind relocating. Honestly, I'm ready to get out of Dodge as far as Brooklyn is concerned. I'm over Brooklyn. But if it was the other way around, if I was in her situation and he's relocating, he would have to move in after the probationary time at that new job. The job has to be secured before any idea of moving in would occur. And as far as being around, if I had children, he would have to come on the weekends, on his day off, let the kids get warm up to him. So that's kind of how he has the entryway where they sense of familiarity with him. So when he has to make that transition to permanently being that resident there, the kids would be familiar and they'll anticipate seeing him rather than springing it onto them.
Okay, what do you expect him to pay, and how much is the dowry?
I never thought about a dowry because I never spoke to any brothers pertaining to marriage. So I guess I'll cross that bridge when I get there. Excuse me?
No niggas.
Yeah.
I've had people push brothers towards me, but I never reciprocate. It's about reciprocity at the end of the day. If I'm not interested, I don't move forward because I don't want to waste nobody's time, let alone mine. But I've never. I don't know. I don't know what it would be. I never got that far.
Because the thing is, like, what would be your dowry expectation?
All right, so I want a nameplate belt that say his name, and then no, I'm just playing. I don't know. Whoever that brother might be, inshallah. If he wants me to wear a ring, he can get me a ring. I don't care really about that too tough. When I was younger and before Islam, I cared about stuff like that. Don't really care about it now. I would love to maybe have I don't know, and I would, just like the sister said, it pertains to what the brother's situation is. If the brother's not hitting six figures, I'm not gonna be like 10K. You know, that's wild. If I had to choose between monetary and securing a home and my name on the deed, I would prefer the home. You know, because I want a house secure for my kids to be raised in. Inshallah, inherit when we're not here.
And that's
So
Okay.
find out.
So, all right, we got the dowry, right? Now, what's your expectations of the man?
well, I plan to have a thorough contract drawn up, inshallah. But before there's any intention, like right, as soon as intentions are set, you have to agree to thorough background checks, HIV, STD screening, mental health checks, and if you decline, it's off. I'm not willing to budge on that. So my expectations before anything is that if you decline to that, you know, I'm gracefully about the situation and give the halal, you know, curve, which is may Allah find you someone better than myself, and keep it pushing. If we make it to Nikah, my expectations is for him to hold down the fort and make sure that the house is good. If he's a homeowner, he's paying the mortgage as he did before I came in the picture. If he decides to purchase a home to put me in, mashallah, he holds down the mortgage, and I don't mind working. My expectations after kids come into the picture will be different because I would like to be in the home to rear the children and transition from working outside to doing remote work. And but that's to be discussed. You know, there's brothers that said they don't want their wife to work. So it depends on the brother. And I'm not comfortable with a brother taking me out the workforce if he doesn't have the tax bracket to support that. Because Allah forbid he becomes sick or he falls ill on the job. If you do not have enough bills to hold us down for 6 months plus until you recover or go back to work, I don't want to be underwater. So it's something that has to be tactically planned because we have to be realistic, and things are mapped out for us to not, you know, get in over our heads. You make haste as it pertains to marriage, you know, if the opportunity presents itself, but you want to make sure things are in order before you go in. That's why we say we don't do love marriages. We marry for practicality, and then we anticipate the process of falling in love with each other as time goes by.
Yeah, that's just right.
That's how I see it.
Yeah, very. It seems like you read The Ideal Muslima, at least.
Right, yeah. It do.
What happened?
You're killing it. You've read The Ideal Muslima.
Yeah, she had to, man. That was
No,
too
I
good.
haven't.
That was too
I
good.
haven't read no books, and my sister here, she could tell you how many. Like I have this book right here. I don't know if y'all can see it because of my background. I've been trying to pry this thing open for how long? Have yet to read it.
The diseases.
It's called The Diseases of the Heart and Their Cure. It's because of my screen. My bad. Still have you. I'm so, and I was speaking to one of my sisters today. I said I'm so bad at reading my Islamic books. Besides, you know, reading the Qur'an. If I'm up, I'll be up for hours after Fajr. I read a couple pages, but besides that, I have so many Muslim books, but I don't crack them open. What's the name of the book that you said?
So who's the author of that book?
The Ideal Muslima.
The Ideal Muslima. What does that look like? Inshallah, send me a picture of that.
It's a joke.
Yeah,
no, look. Who's the author of the book you're reading?
Who wrote that book?
It says Sheikh al-Islam Ibn Taymiyyah.
So, all right, that's a whole nother conversation, right?
Oh.
Get in the habit, right? Don't just pick books up. Know who wrote your books before you pick them up.
Yeah, I was told that too.
Yeah.
All right. Quick question.
But if I'm just learning, how do you decipher whose book to read? Because I see
from your teacher.
Who?
Your teacher will tell you what to read and what not to read.
But I have a question.
Teacher.
Because,
No, I was saying she needs it. She said she don't have a teacher. I said she needs a teacher.
Yeah, I do.
Right. She needs a competent teacher.
You know, in the beginning, especially in the beginning. Well, I want to. Hold on. What was your question, sister?
But how do you know? I mean, like, because I've had teachers. I've had whatever, imams or whatever, and they always refute somebody, or they tell you, oh, don't take from the person. They can never reason why.
All right,
Right.
a whole nother conversation.
It's so confusing.
We're gonna get
this because it's like if you half of these imams, you wouldn't be listening to anybody but them.
I mean, you're right, but
I'm being real.
I don't want
to don't listen to him. He's not on the right school of think.
So just hold that question. I want to know Sister Fiona's opinion because you're not Muslim, right? And so, but you have Muslim friends, right? So when you hear that, like you've heard this, right? Where you meet somebody or you know somebody and the sister is getting within a short period of time or so, right?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about that?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
What do you think about how Muslims get married?
I don't.
In the process,
I don't have anything against it. I understand the religion.
Opinion.
I understand the religion, so I'm very familiar with it. So I don't have any qualms about it. I just hope that, like a lot of people that are getting married with pure intentions, right? And not just say I'm getting married just to be married or just to have someone take care of them, like from a female perspective. So I mean, I don't have anything negative to say about it. That's their chosen lifestyle, and I respect it.
Well, no, I'm not asking you.
Would I do it?
That's what I'm asking you.
No.
Okay, why not?
I would not do it because I believe that 3 months, right? Or for me, like I want to be sure, like I don't know, I want to be sure that this choice that I'm gonna make now in this, no matter what time frame, it's gonna affect the rest of my life. So I'm one to tend to take my time. So that I've been in a situation like that before. I've dated a Muslim before, like when I was way younger, and I did not understand. And we went our separate ways because of marriage, and I felt like I wasn't ready to be married, and I didn't want to rush the process, right? So I understand it, and it works for some, but for me, who's not Muslim, who was not born Muslim, I don't feel like I have enough knowledge to say, yes, this is for me. If the time comes and I'm well educated and I'm submersed in the religion, then maybe. But for me now, I would not.
So are you dating now?
No.
No. Have you been recently?
No.
Within this year?
No. I went on no, because I've been single for a whole year. I attempted to date that lasted like literally like a week. So,
but you weren't single last year, right?
No.
Okay, so how long were you in that relationship for?
What, 6 months?
6 months. So in the beginning of that relationship, you guys courted, right?
Yes.
All right. And dates?
I'm sorry, repeat that?
Went on dates and stuff, right?
Right.
All right. So at some point, you guys decided to start spending more personal time with each other, right?
Yes.
Okay, but for you, when does like? I mean, I know the answer, but I just like to hear other people's opinion. When we're adults, when do we start making the decision that like we go together?
I don't feel like there's a number on that. I just feel like it's a feeling. Like when you both y'all decide that, okay, this is it. Like I don't have a real time frame.
There's no time frame, right? So how long did it take you to go together? In that 6 months, you was together for 6 months. How long before you started going together? Where you was like, this my nigga, this my girl. He don't do nothing else. I don't do nothing else. We together.
It was more like when we started spending more time together, when we wanted to really get to know each other, when we were spending more time talking to each other and so forth.
Did you sign a contract?
No.
Did you do a pinky swear?
No.
All right. So, but in the reason why I had this conversation all the time with non-Muslims, right? Because a lot of times they don't understand. So when you come from, and this was my mistake too, when the first time I got married, in the same, I had my understanding of marriage was, like, yo, when I get married, I'm going to be with this woman for the rest of my life. And doesn't mean that we shouldn't have that expectation, because we probably should, as you probably do too. And that's why you say you more careful and want to, think things through and take your time and stuff, right? Well, you there? You hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Now, I didn't know, it looked like you froze for a minute. Now, so what ends up happening, right, is in the Islamic world, right, our rules are pretty much the same. Like, when we decide that we going together, it's got to be formally said. Like, you know what I mean? There's got to be a contract. There has to be, because there's rights that each person is given. You know what I'm saying? Now, it may seem foreign, like when you hear, like, all right, well, Muslims, they might start, being married within 2 months or 3 months or 2 weeks or whatever it is, right? And sometimes that is kind of fast. I'll be honest. You know what I mean? Especially when you talk about living with somebody, whatever. But the difference in that marriage is no different than you going with that guy. And I don't know how many weeks or, how long it took before you guys started feeling serious to, because the whole relationship lasted 6 months, you said, right? So, but at one point, what was like over a few weeks or something when it started getting serious?
I think like 2 months.
2 months, right? So your 2 months, no different than her 2 months.
Yeah, like I'm not like that's fine.
Right.
You're not judging. I know you're not judging. I'm just trying to make the point. It's really kind of the same thing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's just that we attach the word marriage to it. And so when we say marriage, it does sound like, very, very, and don't be wrong, it is serious, but it sounds a whole lot more serious than the way it comes off to the people that aren't in the Muslim community. You know what I mean?
Yes, because people got that notion that marriage is like, this matrimonial way of, and I got to be this way and this way, and I got to be good in this grandiose way. And you're like, it's a contract.
Yeah.
Nikah means contract. Like Sister Najima mentioned. But I think that everybody had this weird perception of marriage. Like, I got to have my life together. I got to have this. I got to have this. And he got to have this. And then that's marriage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What I wanted to ask you, though, when she mentioned that her dowry was $2,000, why'd you say it should be more?
I feel like, well, I don't know her reasons, but for me, I feel like $2,000 just, if that's what, I don't know how to put it. Me personally, like if I was to choose a dowry, mine wouldn't be money, right? Like I would prefer choose like Najima says, a house, like someplace, instead of him moving to where we are, let's have something together, right? So my dowry would be, okay, we want to be together, we want to be married. I don't want anything physical. Let's have a roof, right? So
the thing is, right? I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but the rule in Islam, the dowry is something he gives to you. It's not his. It belongs to you.
Yeah.
So saying like, all right, now he could give you a house, but that's your house. It's your house, and it's not his house. He might live there, he might be there, but it's yours to keep. Y'all break up, it's still yours. So anything
that's why I said my name got to be on the deed. All right.
Now, if there's like an annulment of the marriage, then he could ask for that back, and that would annul the marriage. But for the most part, that's why people choose
something that return.
Tangible things, because it's something that it's a gift to the bride. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But so you would want something that was, I mean, it's got to be tangible, but not something. You think that was a small amount of money, or you just would rather like a ring, or?
I mean, what for me, that's a small amount.
Okay, so what amount you think is a decent amount?
Minimum 5,000.
Why?
I feel I feel like with the gift should be enough to put a dent in something, right? So for me, who is paying back student loans, and if I want to be debt free by a certain time, and I'm going to get married, I feel like that the monetary value would have to put a dent in something, right? So if I'm going to ask for a certain amount of money, it's going to be amount that's gonna long term make my life better or speed up the process of something, right? So even if I do ask for $5,000, I know with $5,000 that's a year of my student loan payments, right?
Mhm.
Or that is 3 months of my rent, right? If we're not married yet and I'm still living alone. But I feel like the money should be, well, if you know and you got to pay back, it should be, a month that you should pay back. But for me, I feel like the money should put a dent in something, not just to go blow on shoes or to go blow on clothes or something. It should be, the money should, in my opinion, for me, the money would be used to put a dent in something that I already have to take care of.
Okay.
Go ahead, girl.
No, but not for nothing. I agree. When I said 2000, like I said when I was, younger, and I'm not saying, I don't want you to think it's any hostility, because I agree with anything you said. I'm agreeing with what you said.
Now, I would tell you that I'm pretty easygoing.
So like when the 2000 came in, I was young. I've been wanting to get married since I was like 15, 16.
Still young.
I'm talking about younger. I've been wanting to get married since I was 15, 16. First time I was intended, I was 16. You have to think, like, I thought logically, because I'm like, okay, I'm 16. This brother's 18, 19. He ain't gonna have 10K. He's not gonna have 10K to give me. And even if I said, okay, you can pay me 10K over the span of a year, realistically, you have to, like, I've thought about it. Realistically, I'm like, okay, he ain't a doctor, he ain't a lawyer. For right now, he flipping burgers at Sonic. He's trying to go to school. We trying to get it together. I'm not gonna set, and the dowry is supposed to be something easy. It's not supposed to be where the brother is going broke because he's like, I really want to marry this sister, and all right, I gotta have this 10K by tomorrow. So he starts selling drugs or whatever so he could get that 10K for you. It's supposed to be something easy. So when I was younger, I and my mother was very instrumental and very vocal about me understanding what a dowry is and just the aspects of marriage. So that's where that number came from. Now that I'm older, like me and the brother now, I'm like, I want a house. And I was like, okay, like we decided, okay, we're gonna move. Once we move, that's when that's when you can get me the house. So we drew up the contract is drawn up and everything. So we have me and you both have to have our rights. If our rights are denied, something got to change. I can't abuse you any physically, sexually, mentally, spiritually, all that. You can't do that to me. I'm in school. I'm getting my master's. I put that in my contract that that I'm going to finish my master's. And if I decide to go further or get another master's or go get my PhD, then I'm allowed to do that. So in my contract, I put within a certain time period that I have to have a house, and it has to be to my liking. And that if in the event of divorce, the house is mine because my name is on it.
Now, what if you don't get the house within that certain amount of time? Well, like for whatever happens.
Well, that's why we put, so in parentheses, we put inshallah, because we know that Allah is the best of planners. Like, I think, like, for real, like, Allah is the best of planners. I could say, oh, you got to get me a house. For example, you got to get me a house within a year. Allah, I'm speaking in layman's term. Allah may be like, a year? Oh no, sis, it's gonna take 2 years, or it's gonna take 2 weeks. So that's why we put anything that, well, I mean, Allah can change any condition. With that one, we put inshallah. And we put if possible, and then we put inshallah in parentheses. Because like I said, Allah is the best of planners. So, and with buying the house, it comes, you got to have good credit. You got to have money down. You got to know the location. You got to have, and we both, I have kids. Are my kids gonna, just smack and that? So it's a lot to take into consideration. So that's why we put that. We put a timeline, but like I said, we put if possible, inshallah.
Okay.
So, but I think, like I said before, it's very important for like not just the brothers to know, but the sisters to know, because I know a lot of sisters, and I'm not trying to bash this city, but a lot of Philly sisters will ask for food. I had a sister who told me she asked for Pepsi as her dowry. Like dead. I don't know. Am I allowed to say dead ass?
Yeah, you can see that.
Okay.
Astaghfirullah.
Like, nah, dead ass. She was like, oh yeah, I asked for a 12-pack of Pepsi.
Yes, I heard about that sister, and she drank it before the nikah was over, sis.
No. It's not. It's it's another sister. Like, it's a lot of
I'm just
sisters
joking.
that.
I'm just joking. But I heard no. But I heard about the sister who asked for soda for her dowry, and another sister who asked for $1. But their thing was kind of similar to what CJ was saying. In the event that the marriage dissolves, it would be something that they could give back without question and get granted their kula, which is their divorce.
Well, so here's the thing, right? I'm not saying to do this or that people should do this, right? But what happens, and I'm not just saying Philly, but if people that come from, you might come from a background where you used to like fucking around. You know what I'm saying? Like you used to dating, so you're trying to date legally. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that they should do that. There's a time in my life I got ridiculed for saying this before because I used to feel like that. But in some places people just make it easy. Like I'll make it easy. And some people feel like, yo, that's playing with the religion of Allah. I don't judge, I don't say nothing. People say what they want, but because you could say, all right, you're playing around, or you can't say, hey man, look, you did try to take all the proper precautions because all this is stemmed from taqwa. You know what I'm saying? So if you did get the nikah done, you did, now if you're not planning on staying in that marriage, then that's different because we all know at least in the Sunni Muslim world, we know that temporary marriages aren't permissible. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So you're not
The
supposed
muta
to
marriage,
with
right?
the intention of getting out. But if I guess people look at it like, well, all right, I'm gonna make it as easy as possible because what if it don't work and I have to get out? You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
Here's like, I know people don't like when we talk about this, especially me, right? But I just try to understand where people's
Thought process.
where it's coming, your thought process, where it's coming from. And to be honest with you, we come from this culture and we try to act like we pious. The goal is for us to be pious. Like that is the goal. But we try to act like we're that before we actually got there. And if you come from this culture where people is just running loose doing whatever, you know what I mean? And then now you got people that's trying to do the best they can. I don't agree with everything that people do, but at least they're trying. They're trying to, or they have a really warped and unrealistic misunderstanding of how the rules in Islam work. Now a lot of this stuff is our fault because we don't have Islamic government. We don't have judges appointed over us, and that is our job to do that. In Islam, if we don't have those things, we're supposed to, make hijrah to a place that does. You know what I mean? Like that is part of our duty and responsibility. We don't have it. So a lot of what we're doing is self-applied. You know what I'm saying? A lot of self-taught, self-applied. And, we're not supposed to do that. We're not, but people are trying to do the best that they can. you know, I hear a lot of strange stories too. You know what I mean? Like whether it's from Philly or even here where we at in Atlantic City. Like I've heard a lot of strange, you know, things. But you gotta hold on, I gotta answer this one. Hello. All right, thank you. All right,
Mm.
yeah, go ahead.
Well, my reservation that I hear, you know, there's some people that be like, oh, she's selling herself short. And they'll be like, well, your dowry is not your price. Because a woman could ask for a mountain of gold and it will still not equate to how much she's really worth in Islam. So they're like, but she's not selling herself. This is what she asked for. And then if somebody asks for something so little, it's like, are you coming into the marriage with anticipation to get divorced quick? Are you one of those quote unquote tasters who want to just have halal sex and get married just for that purpose because you have every intention to get divorced soon because you just want to test out the waters in a halal way? So it's a lot of ways you could look at it. Like, okay, don't ask for too, and sometimes you'll hear the sisters that be like, oh, I only ask for this, as if they want to appear like they're better or more pious than sisters that probably ask for more. But if the brother agreed to it, what's the issue? If the brother
I
said, okay,
always say that.
mashallah, yeah, I could do that, what is the problem? Why do you care? Because your Zouch couldn't afford it. Don't hate on the other brother who could. They ain't got nothing to do with you, player. Just say mashallah and keep it pushing. If you want to get in his tax bracket, asking to put you on or find a trade or something, don't hate. Don't make them feel bad for being able to afford that blessing, to be able to afford that sister's higher dowry. You know, it's a blessing to be able to do that. But nonetheless, at the end of the day, the goal is nikah. You know, so what is the problem? If both parties agree, you're not involved. So don't speak
My,
down on
that's
it. Let them
that's
rock.
actually something that my wife always say a lot. She say that what do people care about what other people's dowries are?
Mm-hmm.
Like that's
Right.
something that she didn't. I don't understand it either. I don't really care.
I feel like the mentality is they equate the woman's value to the dowry, but
That's
forget
why
that
I
it's a
brought it up.
gift.
I hate when women do that, and I hate to see them arguments on
Yeah,
because there's no amount of money that's worth like let it be my daughter.
yeah,
I'm not
right,
putting a price tag on my daughter because I'm not selling my daughter. You know what I'm saying? I
Right.
can
Right.
right.
5,000, I for
Yeah,
1,000, I for 1,000. And that's a lot of times that's the rationale that goes behind the sisters that say I'll take a $1 dowry because it's basically
Right.
telling you, look, I'm here because I have good intentions and I like the person. I don't need anything from you. But people always say, and a lot of times it comes from a place where people, I don't want to say they're bitter, but people have been burnt. You know what I mean? And it's a lot
yeah.
of
Hmm.
Right.
niggas out here that's wasting women's time. And, you know, you might marry somebody and feel like, you know what, I got burnt in that situation. I don't want to get burnt again. So I'm going to raise my
Mm-hmm.
price to make sure that this person is really serious about me.
No, a lot of
Right.
times, CJ, they raise the price because they be like, it's like a just in case fund. Just in case it don't work out, then I have
Yeah,
something to fall
yeah.
back on.
But
Right.
it does. I definitely get where people, because some sisters have been through some really horrible things, man. And you might say, all right, man, if I raise this bar really high, I'm gonna make sure that you can jump this hurdle. You know,
Mm-hmm.
make sure you're serious. But what ends up happening is we start losing sight of what the whole goal is.
Yeah,
The goal
right.
Mm-hmm.
is for like why do we get married? And it's we never get to the reason. We're not only
Mm-hmm.
getting married because we're in love or like we're trying to obey Allah. Like that's the goal here. And so sometimes like I think we really lose sight of what the intention is for all of this. Because I'll be honest, like if it wasn't for Allah, I would never like, well, what's the
Well, everybody had it. I think with marriage,
I cannot.
people have a Western concept of it, and they like there's always love attached to it.
Mm-hmm.
Like Umar Ibn al-Khattab, radiallahu ta'ala, always he said one time, like, is every house built on love? What about things that y'all have in common?
Mm-hmm.
Does it always have to be built on love? And I
Love
think
don't
this
pay
is
the
a
bills.
westernized brainwashing way.
Yeah, love don't pay the bills.
Because she
And you got
got
So
good qualities I have.
And you gotta think that back in the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam's time, they married for sisters married for security. That's what that's in actual
Yeah.
reality. In actual reality, people think that polygyny was made permissible so that the man his desires, but it was a lot of men dying in war or getting killed in war, even vulnerable. I'm not using vulnerable as a we're weak and meek, because let's be real, some of them female Sahaba was stronger than a lot of the male companions. That's another conversation. But they was a lot of women and children were left vulnerable or unprotected. So before love came, it was okay. This sister's husband died in a battle. Okay, she got 3 kids. All right,
my husband if he is interested in
Let
taking
me,
her
or
in and relieving her
not even
burden.
that. Just the husband saying, listen, I'm a married sister for security. She needs protection. She needs to be taking care of her family. Her children, whatever. Whether she had children or not, she needed protection, because let's be honest, we were vulnerable at that point.
Well, no, you got to remember.
And so,
and one of the most beneficial things you can do in Islam, right, is, especially as new Muslims or like when people are trying to learn, is to read the Sirah, right? If you read the Sirah of the Prophet Sallallahu, you know what the time was then. You got to remember, this is back then. You were protected by your tribe.
Yeah.
If you came from a strong tribe, that's what guaranteed you safety. And we're not talking about a time where you had stoplights and police.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So if you weren't from a strong house, you didn't have any protection. It's not just the marriage. It was also like, you gotta remember, polygyny and stuff. This stuff is custom of before.
Yeah.
Not before.
Before
right.
that.
No, I get what you're saying.
But before the Prophet Islam, this existed. You know what I mean? This is their practice. So, you know, when we talk about in today's time, and I don't want to have a whole polygyny discussion because I'm getting this.
Well, I use that as an example because a lot of people don't understand the aspect of marriage. Like Najima said, it's the practicality of it. I don't remember who said it, but it was somebody said marrying for security, but that's the reality. Some women marry for, even in this day and age, some women marry for security, and there's nothing wrong with that, because like we said, you ain't gonna right off the bat love somebody. You can't, I'm not gonna say you can't love anybody in 2-3 months, because I'm sure it happens, but the practicalityness of it, we obeying the law. Some women are marrying, or men, whoever, that marrying for security. And the reason why I brought up polygyny is because that goes hand in hand. Because there are some people who are like, oh, he got 3-4 wives, and it's like, okay, but some of them marry for security. Some of them marry because whatever the case is, they wanted to protect themselves. My whole thing is, we have to go back to the understanding of marriage in itself, where it began. And when I say where it began, is when it was legislated during the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam's time. And polygyny was one of those things. And it's nothing wrong with, I see a lot of sisters saying that it's wrong for you, you marrying so that you could be secure. And there's nothing wrong with that. A lot of women, like I said, women back then married for security. There's nothing wrong with that. You want to feel protected, you want to be protected. Like you said, tribal. If you didn't have a strong household, you were vulnerable for attack. So it's nothing wrong with marrying if I know I don't love you, I'm marrying because I like your characteristics. I'm marrying because I know that, okay, if anything, you want to protect me. You know, that's I'm saying all of this comes in what's the word? I can't think of it. All of it. Yes, perspective. I couldn't think. All of this is perspective. And like I said, I brought in polygyny because that's one of the big debates. People are like, why? But it's like, y'all really don't, and I don't want to say you don't know your religion, but you must not understand it as to why it came into practice.
The thing is, right, like, people don't understand these rules. Allah made these rules for a reason, right? So it doesn't even matter if it's for protection or if it's like all of this stuff is for morality. It's not even just practicality. It's for morality to obey Allah because Allah means certain things. Now we can sit there and we say whatever. Oh, I don't like this. I don't like that. We already know the whole argument, right? At the end of the day, everybody does it still. So it's just whether you're going to do things legally or illegally. That's it. Like I tell people all the time, like when you talk about marriage, if you got a boyfriend or girlfriend, you're married. You just have an illegal marriage. You know what I'm saying? You can have a legal one or an illegal one. I mean, you can say, okay, I don't believe in polygyny, but how many people you know is, I got my wife and I'm still fucking my baby mom. Like, you're in polygyny and you know about it. So,
he said you're in polygyny. When he go see that baby, he's sliding in there. Okay, let's not get crazy.
So it is what it is, and that's why Allah ordained certain things. You know what I'm saying? He made these things.
Right. And it's not even something exclusive to Islam. Like even when I was a practicing Catholic, we wasn't supposed to do the boyfriend and girlfriend thing either. This is nothing new.
But y'all did it, right?
You know, we were supposed to do the marriage thing, but we didn't, and we try, and what we try to do is pervert the religion. Despite whatever religion it is, we pervert the religion to accommodate what we want to do. And we try to find some type of justification. And when you become knowledgeable, it's so easy to say pretty words. And you sound convincing to the point you start believing your own lies. And when you start believing your own lies, you become a dangerous person. And that's and you could get away with it now in the dunya or whatever, and you could good and well, believe it and sound convincing. But once you start taking people with you, that's when the issues come about. At the end of the day, Yom Kiyama, they're not gonna be able to testify for you or answer for why you did this, knowing that it was not the right way. How do you justify blatantly doing something incorrectly?